Welcome back to another episode of Myths Busted Mondays. Let's go. Corrective Action and Stakeout is a canonical ship. This one was submitted by Dbd and is maybe the best submission we've ever had ever. Strong start. Stakeout gains a token every 15 seconds you're standing within the killer's terror radius without being chased, to a maximum of 4 tokens. When completing a good skill check, a token is consumed, and the good skill check is considered a great skill check instead. Corrective Action, meanwhile, starts with 3 tokens and gains a token each time you succeeded a great skill check, to a maximum of 5 tokens. Each time a survivor other than you fails a skill check, a token is consumed, and that failed skill check is considered a good skill check. So the question is this. If Survivor 1 has Corrective Action and Survivor 2 has Stakeout with at least 1 token, both are working on the same generator and Survivor 2 fails a skill check, is that skill check considered a great skill check? The idea being that Corrective Action transforms it into a good and then Stakeout transforms it again into a great. Let's take a look. Corrective Action loses stacks if someone on the same generator as you with Technician fails a skill check. This one was submitted by Broiler Chicken. Another Corrective Action one. Nice. Technician is a perk that, when failing a skill check, prevents the generator explosion, applies the default regression penalty, and then applies an additional penalty of 3%. As we've already established, Corrective Action loses a stack when another player fails a skill check, but will this still happen when that player with Technician fails a skill check? The Plague will have her Vile Purge cancelled if active when all fountains are used up. This one was submitted by Zorin. The Plague receives Corrupt Purge automatically if all fountains are used up. What happens if this happens while she's mid-Vile Purge? Will her Vile Purge be cancelled mid-Vomit stream? Flashbang and Blastmine destroy the artist's crows. This one was submitted by Kyuru. In previous videos, we established that both Flashbang and Blastmine take out the hag's traps in the same way that flashlights do. But will it take out the artist's crows too? Decorative entities sync across clients. This one was submitted by... Oh, me. It was me. I came up with this one. Nice. Some maps have decorative entities like rats that scurry away from you when you draw near. They can sometimes be distracting, especially against killers like the Trapper, where you're constantly scanning the ground, and can also indicate whether or not there is a survivor or killer just ahead of you. Or can they? No, they can't. As this image demonstrates, they do not sync across clients and are contained entirely within your instance of the game. Good to know. Remember Me gains a stack when the Obsession uses For the People. This one was submitted by Magic Prunes. Remember Me gains a stack each time the Obsession loses a health state. For the People allows you to essentially trade a health state with another survivor. But will Remember Me gain a stack if the Obsession uses For the People? Deadlock switches to another gen if the gen it would have been applied to is already entity blocked. This one was submitted by Kinetic152 and a fair few others, actually, but I saw their comment first. Sorry. Deadlock causes the generator with the most progress to be blocked off by the entity when another generator is completed. In the last video, we established that if Repressed Alliance is used on this generator before the effect of Deadlock would be applied, nothing happens. But we didn't check whether Deadlock had instead put itself on another gen. So let's look once again and figure out if another gen is blocked instead. Mettle of Man blocks the deep wound timer's downing. This one was submitted by Hex Your Mum. Mettle of Man applies endurance after taking 3 protection hits. If you're in deep wound, however, when the timer runs out without mending, will the endurance effect prevent you from getting downed? Overcome activates when plagues sickness. This one was submitted by this fella. Overcome activates when it hits, but if the plague's infection, which will build up to an injury over time, cause it to trigger. Hex Blood Favour activates when plagues sickness. This one was submitted by George Marshall. Hex Blood Favour activates whenever a survivor loses a health state by any means and blocks all pallets within 32 meters of that survivor's location for 15 seconds. But will it activate when going from healthy to injured via the plague's sickness? And finally, Hex Blood Favour activates from For the People. This one was submitted by Matthew Martinez. So, given what we know from the previous myth, does Blood Favour also activate when For the People causes a survivor to go down a health state? So there you have it, another 8 Dbd. Actually, that was 10. I've written 8. That was 10. I'm going to modify the script right now. Another 10 Dbd myths busted. Keep them coming with the word myth somewhere in the description of what you write, and you may be featured in the next video. Today's Q&A question comes from Beth Lol, who asks, tell us more about your music. Smiley face. What's your favorite game ever released, and why haven't you got a freaking VHS key yet? All right, let's see. I'm currently working on a new album for my main project around Window, which I'm the keyboard player and backing vocalist for. We're hoping to get that out within the next 6 months. Here's a tiny preview. My favorite game ever released is probably Half-Life 2. Basic bitch answer, I know, but it's the truth. As for the VHS thing, apparently they just don't want to give me one. I sent an email a while back about it too, and they just never got back to me. And that's fine. There was a period back in November where I was considering switching entirely to making VHS content because I just didn't want to promote DBD. But then I never received the key, and I found some joy in DBD through focusing on videos rather than streaming. So yeah, still haven't got one. I know they've done like a million waves. Most people seem to have one now. I still don't have one, so whatever. A big thank you to my 8 quid and up patrons, Mr. Lista, Chipstar878, and Bobby Bialu, the Godfather. Sorry, the Godfather Bobby. All right, that's it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.